Hey guys, I'm Professor Golden, if you don't know, and this is Inclusive Excellence Committee focus group, okay? And what we're going to do today is we're going to discuss issues regarding the family being the most political institution in the country, more political than politics itself, more political than sports, economics, and all that good stuff, okay? The person that brought the food as Beth, she's not here to give her some love, okay? But as you can see, when you think about family, food is part of it. And so you want to basically feed your mind as well as feed your belly, okay? So, next slide, Michelle. Okay, so the family, the most political institution in society. Why is it political? Okay, we're going to find out today why family is political. Next slide. All right. So according to you, how's the family defined, Stuart?
What? I was taking a picture of
I understand that. But you should be ready.
I am.
Okay,
Yeah.
so how's the family defined according to Stuart? In your study
People
opinion?
that you call your family or people that you associate as family. It's not always people that are in your DNA or people that you grew up with.
You still in my stuff?
Yeah. I already knew what you. I know your answers. So.
Okay, I got two E's. So I'm talking about my student E, not E that's doing the filming. E, what's the family according to you?
I don't know, the people that you hold closest to your heart.
The people you hold closest to your heart. And you would do anything for them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. What about you, Miss Sarah? You weren't gonna sit in my class and think I'm gonna call on you.
I don't know. I honestly, heartbreak
Heartbreak.
and exclusion, and the people that you try your best your whole life to make want you to do. Like you want to serve them. You want them to be proud of you, but they aren't always.
Sometimes they disappoint you.
Yeah.
And sometimes you disappoint them.
Right.
And sometimes you can't do enough to please them.
Absolutely.
And sometimes they're your parents.
Yep.
That's why we say marinate on it. Because sometimes you can have an unpleasing parent, regardless of what you do, regardless of what you say, regardless of who you marry, it's not good enough. Michelle? All right. How has your family socialization process shaped you? Where's Phoenix at? Where's Phoenix? Phoenix is a professor. So in your study opinion, Professor, how has the family shaped you, socialization process?
Say me personally?
Yes, ma'am.
So-
I always get on me for calling you ma'am, but go ahead.
Yeah. So for my socialization, my family, I come from a biracial family, so I have both a white parent and a black parent. So that racially, I grew up with that lens, always being aware of how society looks at me, and then a sense of double consciousness. There's always a conversation in the household between my parents and whether how much my mom, the white parent, understood what the rest of the family did, and thinking about the studies of when you're talking about what a black family is, can you have a black family without the mother? Because the mother is the one that typically carries culture. And then also, my family is very sports oriented. So that also impacted me growing up, probably highly influenced the reason why I'm gender fluid right now. So it impacted my gender and sexuality as well. So I think you know, they say family is the foundation, so that would be my socialization process, or how I identify right now.
And sometimes you can go against how you were socialized, correct?
Most definitely.
Okay. Just be you.
Yeah, because I don't play sports now.
Hmm?
Yes, I said now I hate sports.
Okay. The brother from New Orleans, Mr. Baptiste. What is the family socialization process for you? How has it shaped you?
Wow. I grew up Southern Baptist.
That means that you were in church for 3 hours sometimes. on
Yes,
Sunday.
yes. Sometimes the entire day. Also, it was more along the lines of coming from a family that was really, really big in drug abuse in the early 80s and the early 90s, the 80s and 90s essentially. And a parent who was dealing with being a heroin addict and kind of preaching that upon me, how they don't want me to fall into the same footsteps as they did. There were some things they did that I agree with and some things that I didn't. Once I started to go out on my own, when I joined the military, I started to see a different perspective of the world. More because I started to work with different individuals rather than being in New Orleans where it was a predominantly black culture that I was surrounded with. So once I got to experience a lot of different other cultures on the outside, I kind of had a more multicultural aspect or view of the world, and that's what got me into wanting to travel. And then it was a point where I completely, I guess you can say, separated from the ideals of my family because they're still, not everyone, but certain parts of my family, we still feel prejudiced towards something as if they're owed something or someone did them wrong. So I kind of changed my mentality. It took a while, but we don't see eye to eye in things, but at the end of the day, they're my blood, and I love them. But sometimes if I have to separate myself from them, then I do.
It's hard because sometimes when you go against family, there's a price that you pay. Okay? That there is a price that you pay. And so your world perspectives are sometimes shaped by your family. Okay? They can be jaded. You're told not to associate with people that are different than you. Or they don't make as much money as us. Or they're the other. And it might determine who you marry. All that stuff. Anybody else? What about you, Mr. Ron? You have a unique perspective in reference to family. You've been with us since 1933.
Right. The family, it all depends on my mother's side or my father's side. So there are two ways to go. When you sit on my father's side, I talk very little because they do all the talking, I do all the listening. And it's interesting because it's the same thing year after year. So you can almost remember every line, everything. And the interesting thing about it, it's a lot of times you don't get any real information because you've been there before. I mean, me, I'm much older. So I've listened to it over and over like a record. Have you ever had someone play a record over and over and over again? So I always went by my own music. I don't care. Family, I listen to them, but I'm still playing my own music. Let them play their music. Don't argue with them, and that's the worst that you could do. So be a good listener. So if you're a good listener, everybody loves you. But as soon as you start arguing and getting nasty and they hate your guts, this way, the easy way is to agree or just shake your head and sit there, drink your tea or coffee and enjoy life because you can't beat it.
Mr. Ron, in so many words saying, just keep it moving. Because sometimes you can be right? And you're still wrong. Okay, and which we don't deal with. Believe that. Rachel, next one. Okay, according to Dr. Maya Angelou, okay, according to her, your family expands as you add new contacts. And as Stewie said earlier, people that don't share your DNA sometimes can be your best friend. Sometimes can be your family. You trust them and you share things with them before you share with people who share your DNA. Because sometimes, and you're gonna see an overhead in a few minutes, you can't really trust them. They tell all your business. They got issues. They jealous. We're gonna tell the real thing up in here today, Jack. Okay? But this is Dr. Angelou. Dr. Angelou is also known for when people show you who they are, believe them. Believe them. Because that's who they are. And your experiences are very, very important. Rachel, next one. All right. Any matriarchs in this class? Patriarchs? Oh, you're a patriarch. So you running things in your family. Well, you got to deal with this here. What's your name?
Esther.
Hey, Miss Esther, how you doing?
Good.
So you a matriarch. So you run things in your family.
Yeah.
You got kids? Four. So you don't listen to nobody else, do you? You the matriarch, right?
Yeah.
You got brothers and sisters?
We don't speak.
Okay. Did somebody tell you how to raise your children?
They tried to.
See? See, the thing that we have to understand with family is you're going to learn how to keep your family out your business. That's important. You have longer days on this earth. The stress will take you out of here. So you the matriarch, and you don't have any contact with your brothers and sisters because they tried to raise your kids.
Yeah.
Tried to tell you how to raise your children.
Yeah, one of my daughters is lesbian, and that's not accepted in my family, so. See?
Oh, the sexual orientation. Okay. And they had an issue with it.
Partly that's the reason, yeah.
Did they tell you you were living in sin?
My mom did,
Oh.
but
It's against God.
mostly it was, there's too much access to the internet and all these funny people out there changing how my kids see the world, so.
And they blame you for that.
Right.
Okay. But you just let your kids be kids.
Well, I let them figure that out, you
Yeah.
know, they know.
Okay. It comes up quite a bit. So we have the matriarchs and the patriarchs, and using those individuals are the ones that everything goes through them. Who is the matriarch in your family? Okay, who's the patriarch? That's the male figure. They're the ones, no decision is made unless you consult them. And when you go against them, you're shunned. Nobody wanted nothing to do with you. Now, who's shunned the matriarchs and patriarchs in their family? Raise your hand. Be honest. Be honest. You're gonna be honest. Share. Anybody else? All right. Esther? I know you have, students. Now, some of y'all in here, I know y'all hands should have went up. I know you have.
I didn't even hear what you asked.
That's E, y'all. I said, have you shunned any of the matriarchs, the male figure in your family, that everything goes through them, or the patriarch? That's the mom, the mother. I know you have too. What about you, Tay? You knew this was coming. Hmm?
I said from time to time.
From time to time? Not all the time?
It depends.
It depends? Is it situation oriented?
Yeah.
Anybody else? Cassidy?
Well, I mean, I respect my dad, you know, I do. But sometimes he just, I don't know, man.
he just like, he'll act out and he'll like make my mom feel like crap. So I'll be like, hey, what's the deal, man? What's going on? Why are you acting like that? But the other day, we went camping for my mom's birthday and he was being a total ass. And so he was like yelling back and forth with my mom. And I was getting really mad. So I was like, Dad, why are you acting like a damn fool? Can you stop? It's Mom's birthday. And I did feel bad, but I didn't end up apologizing. And I still feel kind of bad. But yeah, I don't like to, because I don't like being mean to anybody, but my dad sometimes needs to be told.
Do you guys feel that parents don't apologize enough? Do you feel that you don't apologize enough? Well, which is yes or no? Do you feel that way?
I feel like it's different for like I have more of an empathetic relationship with my mother than I do with my father. Like my dad can't really understand, like he doesn't have the emotional like capacity to like even, you know, and I don't really want to like have that like kind of like I would bring it to him, but I don't feel like he would understand. Like when I got sick and stuff, he kind of like didn't process it exactly. He wasn't in the hospital with me, but my mom was. So I feel like some people have more of an empathetic relationship to their mother than their father. So like the mom will apologize if they're mean to their kid right away. Like, at least that's like with me and my mom.
What if you extended an olive branch?
Yeah.
And see?
Yeah.
Because sometimes that helps. And then sometimes because the way society is, the structure, men cannot show emotion because they're men. So to me, it's you should be able to hug your kids. You should be able to tell them that you're sorry. Because we have some people that they can't say they're sorry. They're always right, and they can't say they're sorry. Okay? And if you plan on dating somebody like that, and they can't say they're sorry, and they can't say they're wrong, then you need to keep it moving. Because you're going to always have problems. So the matriarchs and the patriarch, they're supposed to keep their family stabilized. They keep the friction over here, keep everything neutral. But the matriarch and the patriarch also, and we're going to deal with that probably next hour, but I'm going to bring it up now because y'all here. They also keep them secrets. The matriarch, that's why they're matriarchs and patriarchs, because they know where all the bodies are buried. Okay? You know, those family secrets. And you still wondering what those family secrets are. Okay. Since you gave me this, Miss Loretta, what's the family secret? Not from your family, but just a family secret. What's the family secret?
Family secret, I don't know,
Yeah.
something that
But you're going to tell me you don't know and you're about to answer the question.
Hold on a minute.
No.
Something like, I don't know, a secret that stays within the family, like something you don't really tell other people, or, I don't know, is that what you want?
Yeah, but you have to be more specific with me.
Like, so let me give an example?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. I don't know, say your family was sitting on like a lot of money.
Yeah,
That's
See,
a
no,
family secret.
that's the secret. And the matriarch and the patriarch knows that,
Right.
but don't say nothing. Now the question is, why do they keep it a secret?
It could be for selfish reasons.
Yeah.
Or for selfish reasons. I don't know why
Yeah.
they would keep it a secret.
Okay, yes, for selfish reasons. Because they want certain people in the family to get that money. What about you, Miss Warner? What's one of them family secrets? It's a secret. It's been a secret for a long time.
Actually, I have one that just came up in my family.
You didn't tell me?
So my grandmother, my great auntie, she had a child really young, and that child was raised as one of the siblings in the family by my great grandparents instead of actually line it was supposed to be, so that was like
Yeah. Yes, sir. Mr. Johnson?
I'm distracted.
Anybody else?
I got two.
Okay, Sarah.
When one family member rapes another family member is one.
You knew I wanted to keep that in my pocket. I
I
wasn't ready
know,
to talk
right?
about that just yet, but go ahead.
And
Yeah.
two is, we have this cute, perfect little family, and our daughter can't be gay.
Nope, not at all.
Yep.
Jay?
I was gonna say cheating is always a big one,
Really?
and yes, and then also, one of my family members went to jail for like almost a year, and nobody was allowed to talk about
Right.
it. But he came back, and they're like, "Yeah, he just got back from summer camp." I was like, "Tax evasion."
Yeah. So yes, those are perfect examples. Anything else? Because they're secrets. You're not supposed to talk about it. Wait a minute, let me take this step further. You're not even supposed to know about it. In fact, it got something to do with you. You're still not supposed to know nothing about it. Okay? You're not supposed to know. It has something to do with you, Mr. Lowe. You ain't supposed to know nothing about it. Now, before you ask, why you not supposed to know? It got something to do with you, but you ain't supposed to know. It's a family secret about you, and you ain't supposed to know. Let's see if Melanie can help us out. Melanie, can you help us out?
Why am I not supposed to know the family secret?
No. The family secret's about him,
Yeah.
and he's not supposed to know. Why is he not supposed to know?
Yes, it's about him, and they're trying to keep it away from him.
Okay, but why?
So he doesn't feel excluded.
You really think so?
I think so.
Anybody else want to help us out? You're right, but there's another caveat. Yes, Sarah?
Everyone's talking about him behind his back.
Okay. Is that the only reason?
Is it for protections?
So what?
Is it for protection?
For protection? Yes, sir.
It might bring about more pain if he learns
For,
about it.
for him.
Yeah, for him.
What if I told you that he's not supposed to know because it's none of his business? Yes, I said it. Wait a minute. I know, Mr. Moran, it's about him. But he's not supposed to know because it's none of his business. Yes, I said it. It's none of his business. It's none of your business. No. You're not supposed to know it's none of your business. Even though it's about you. I told you that the politics of family is what it is. It's about him and ain't none of his business. Now, that's cold in. But it happens every day. Yes, Phoenix?
Yeah, I was gonna give a good example of, we did a lot of medical interventions on intersex children. It's not the common practice going a different direction now, but like probably the 70s, 80s, 90s, when a child born intersex, meaning it's not male or female dominant, then the parents would make a decision with the doctor to choose which sex they would be. And now these children who had the surgery are adults, and their gender was decided for them, and they're changing it, and then they didn't even know their own medical records because their parents chose their own identity, like tried to play God in a sense and choose their identity based on the sex that they preferred, and so they never even bothered to tell them.
Right. We can take this a step further. You talk about Mr. Lowe. You found out that the person you thought was your father wasn't your daddy. And it was somebody else. And it's a family secret because it's about him What about that pain you were talking about? Everybody in the family knew. How would that make you feel? I know, let me say this before you answer that question. I hope nobody's ever experienced that. Okay. How would that make you feel?
Pretty mad because then you've been lied to.
Who would you be mad at?
Your family.
Okay, who in particular of your family would you be mad at?
Probably my mom. Just because like, she knows who it is and she wouldn't have told me. Then again, like you've been calling you dad all these years. It's not really it.
Okay, what if your mother wasn't the only person? Would she be what if it was other people that you respected, that you would go to the wall for, like Eve said earlier? What if it was just anybody in the family? Would you be mad at them too? Because they're part of this.
Yeah.
Would you ever speak to them again?
Probably not for a good while.
How long is a good while? You hold grudges?
Sometimes I'm just type of hold grudge.
Because people have been through this.
I have two other ones. Domestic violence and substance abuse.
Raise your voice up. Sid.
Substance abuse and
Substance-
domestic violence.
Yeah. They keep that. Anything else with those two? That those family secrets?
Disease,
Baby?
disease,
Who?
disease.
Disease. Yeah. Which disease? What you saying?
Any disease that's undesirable, but particularly like my uncle went to jail and got raped, and then now it's suspected that he died of AIDS. So nobody wants to talk about AIDS in family.
Yes, sir. Okay. Yeah, disease. Anything else other than,
Interfamily
You said
affairs.
what'd you say?
Family affairs.
Interfamily affairs.
Interfamily affairs. I knew I would get her to talk. Yeah, that made you mad, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mr. Johnson,
What connection to crime would be one?
connection with crime?
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially if you're talking about selling dope. Especially if you're talking about other forms of crime. You're not supposed to say anything. In fact, you're not even supposed to know. Rachel? Okay. Trusting family members. Do you trust everybody in your family?
Nope.
Wait, no. Wait a minute. You don't trust everybody in your family? Okay.
With certain things that,
Is there certain things?
certain things that.
What if you want, what won't you tell your family? What won't you reveal to your family? They're supposed to be your family.
Depending on if you're talking about the family that is your actual family or the family that you call your family.
The people that share your DNA.
Shines on nothing.
Y'all laughing, she telling the truth.
Treat them like an acquaintance.
Like what?
An acquaintance.
Yeah, she telling the truth too. They're telling the truth, trust both of them. That's how they actually feel. They're not just saying it. It's real. If it's supposed to be people, it's supposed to be about love. It shouldn't be an issue of trust. Right?
But what if your family don't know what love is?
That's important. That's very important if they don't know what love is. Because everybody don't know what love is. What if I told you that parents sometimes don't know how to love? Would you believe it?
Yes.
Yeah. Parents don't know how to love. What if I told you that sometimes parents don't know how to talk to their children? Yeah. See, it's two ways. You can talk to a child, and you can talk at a child. And children always remember that you talk at them versus talking to them. So that's something that we always have to understand. Okay. We'll get into the good stuff. Michelle? Okay. Explain that to me. Children don't fail in society, adults fail them.
A lot of adults don't give the children the opportunity.
A lot of adults don't give a child an opportunity. Anybody in this room been through that, where you haven't gotten the opportunity to do things? Yeah. What else does that tell you about children don't fail in society, adults fail them? How does it happen?
Most of it comes when adults impress their fears on their child.
You said their fears?
Yes.
Okay. Fear. What is fear? False emotions absent of reality. We always ask, what are you afraid of? They push that fear on people, on their children. They push that depression on their children. They push that self-doubt. That's what they do. Why are you telling your child what they can't do? Because that's my child and I know my child. That's a check. That child does have a mother or a father, depending on who you're talking to. So you're pushing all that doubt on your child, talking about what they can't do. Or, I don't know what the next one is, Michelle. Children fail because, you see this here? Parents, the older heads, and teachers don't believe in them. I'm going to ask you something. You have people that will say that this particular individual can't do something. What do you say to them when they say this individual can't do something? Can't pass math. I'm sorry, I bring up math every time I talk like this. They can't pass chemistry. They can't pass biology. They have opportunity. Yeah, but what do you mean they can't pass? The students come to me and say, I can't. Really? Whose side are you on? You can't? Yes, you can. All right, Ms. Wanda, let them know how smart you are. What's this mean to you?
The adults, they're setting up children for bad mentality. They're setting them up to a certain standard that they can't do things. I think something that's most common with this is with Black children who come from broken societies and homes. They're often, when they go to school, they're placed into special ed programs because they can't sit and focus in class. And so a lot of the times they're told, oh, you can't do this, so you don't have to worry about doing this work, and they don't get the education that they need because they don't believe that they're capable of doing.
You say the adults don't believe they're capable.
Yeah, because adults are telling them, oh, well, this is what's wrong with you, so you can't do these things.
They can't. But that same child can go out and they can play a sport. That same child can tell you after listening to a track of 19 songs, explain every track on that song what it means, verbatim. But they can't learn chemistry.
Yeah.
It's amazing to me. So all you do is apply it to that child's interest. Find out what they're interested in, and you'll see what they can do. But that whole thing is what they can't do. And then you have the parent also that's the one that's telling them what they can't do, what they don't know. What I'm going to ask you is, does the child get a chance? Oh, and by the way, if they fail, Yeah, but you know what? If they fail, they should get another opportunity. Now, I'm gonna say this name, and I know you're not gonna like this certain people in this room, but this proves my point. Okay? This individual has 5 championship rings. Okay? He had 2 head coaching jobs before he went to his job that he's in now. Now, if he did not get an opportunity second time and the third time, we would never know him as a great coach. Now, has he had some assistance to some people that root for the Pittsburgh Steelers? Yes. Talking about Bill Belichick, 5 championship rings. But he was in Joe Torre, another one. They had opportunity after opportunity, they had opportunity to fail. And so when I hear people say that an individual can't do something, the question I'm gonna ask you is, did they have an opportunity to fail? And last I checked, when we start talking about children, and I'll get to the cell phones in a minute.
Excuse me, I thought it was all.
The last time.
Excuse me, it's a
That's okay.
brand new phone.
Okay.
I'm having problems with it. I'm sorry.
It's all right.
I apologize.
Last I checked, that's a child. And children haven't been on earth long enough to get the opportunities. And so when you're dealing with parents, when you're dealing with older heads, and they start talking about a particular youngster, ask them, what did you do when you were their age? Ask them. And they'll probably look at you like, what are you talking about? What did you do in their age? What'd you do? Did you make mistakes? You start thinking. But it makes them think critically. Okay. All right. Right here. Types of investment into the use, always use of the family. What investment are we talking about? We talking about money, and we talking about time. Now, what's more important up there? Time. Because you're going to spend money. You're going to spend money. And one thing about dealing with young people, they already got your money spent. All the time. But time is more important, folks, because you can share something with someone, and that one thing, that one quote, and in the times that we live in, that one text message is so important. It's very important. And so time is the great confirmer. It confirms everything. Now, when do you deal with people? Do you deal with them when they up here? Or do you deal with them down here? See, you can tell a lot about a person when they're dealing with people that are down here, because they're at their lowest point. When they're on that bottom floor. What's the bottom floor? What's the bottom floor? Death. And sometimes people reach that bottom floor. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? What you gonna wait until, oh, I'll talk to them later. You see somebody's name popping in. Is that what you say? You don't answer your phone? See, we talking about family, folks. Who's been on the other end of that phone call when somebody's called you and said, I'm through, I'm tired. I don't want to live anymore. Okay. That's not a good feeling. But you know something, folks? I always say, man, I'm glad I wasn't in class. Or I'm glad I answered my phone. Or I'm glad I wasn't on the road. And you never know when you're going to get that call. So time is important. Okay? And sometimes they say, you know, you got this thing to say, well, how can a 15-year-old be depressed? And you got older here saying this. They ain't paying no bills. Or you tell people, you got older here telling you, well, you should be doing this, this, and this. They mad at you because you're not acting the way they expect you to act. So time is important. Money. I like this one. Listen to young people. Has anybody been in this situation because of your youth? People won't listen to you? Huh? They won't listen to
Look
you.
younger,
Hmm?
or because you look
Or
younger.
because you look young. They don't take you seriously. How does that make you feel? Do you feel here or do you feel here? Yes, sir. You feel what?
All the way down.
Okay. People don't take you seriously.
Mm-hmm.
A 4-year-old can teach you something. Don't you ever forget that. A 4-year-old. Listen to the young people. They can tell you something. Always tell you when you leave. Talk to the young people. Talk to the older heads. Do something with the young people. Because they're looking up at you. There's a reason for that. Now, Sarah, you said they ain't gonna take you seriously. Yeah, it's true. So how do you make them take you seriously? Did you stop talking?
No.
No, you just continue doing what you're supposed to do. And some people, because of your youth, when you say things, they sometimes feel that you are not old enough to say what you say. So you know what you do? Because I was told that. I said, well, you know, I'm supposed to wait till I'm 30. You see what I'm saying? I continue saying that they didn't get me in trouble sometimes. Yeah. So what? I look back on it and say, hey, I'll do it. If I had to do it all over again, I'll do the same thing. Okay. So we have to listen to the young people. But also, folks, and I always tell you, talk to the older heads. Because you're trying to get to where they at. You look around this room. We talking about the subject of family, right? We have, from age range in this room, a person that was born in 2001 and a person that was born in 1933. I'm dead serious. I want you to look around this room. That's the age range, 17 to 85. Well, he'll be 85 in December.
Oh, you got it right, Professor. December, oh, my.
You never told me what December 12th?
Oh, 11.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was off.
Professor, are you sure you're not with the FBI?
No. But the age range, and you talk to people because they can tell you a lot. But they also, those young people, they can tell you a lot as well. And that's important. So we also have to listen. No, go back. No. Ahead. Okay, now, I want to, instead of hearing them, seeing them, I want you to listen to them. Because people hear you. And also, okay, I'm a part of Generation X, folks. Okay, so you got the boomers. Mr. Ron is part of the silent generation. You got the boomers, silent generation, the boomers, Generation X, and then you got the millennials. All right.
Then you got the Z generation.
You got the Z generation, yeah.
Some of these people with Z's. don't
Z's.
confuse
Z's. We got some Z's in here, over here. Okay. And so, in past, with young people, you're supposed to be seen and not heard. You're supposed to be seen and not heard. Even if you got something to contribute, keep your mouth shut. And that's why I say sometimes we have to listen to the young people because they do have something to contribute. Instead of seeing them and hearing. Now, what are the DKs? Anybody want to take a shot with the DKs on? I didn't put it up there. Now you know what the DKs are? Anybody know? Take a shot. Clint, what about you? Nobody knows what the DKs are. I said stay away from the DKs. Carlos, what about you? None of you guys in here know what the DKs are. The DKs are the dream killers. stay as far away from them as possible. You know a dream killer when you see one. You tell them you majored in biology. Why do you want to major in that? You tell them you're going to college. Why are you going to college? You tell them you're going to date somebody. Why are you dating him? They always got a question with a negative. You tell them you're getting a cell phone. Why do you need a cell phone? And even when you explain things to them, it's not good enough. Now you know who the DKs are in your family. How many DKs you got around you? You might be dating a DK. You dating a DK? You married to a DK?
I'm not familiar with it.
Say what?
I'm not familiar with it.
You know who that is?
I'm not familiar with it.
Nobody, yeah, you know about 5 of them.
I'm talking about this I'm married.
Why do you want me to go there? Yeah. I'm not going there with you. You might see this tape. But you know who the DKs are. Are you around them? Who's around a DK? You around a DK? What you gonna do? I'm gonna challenge you. I'm gonna challenge you. What are you gonna do? What's your name?
Ashley.
Ashley. Remember that. Ashley, what are you going to do to separate yourself from a DK?
I don't know, I'm not gonna live with her, so.
You're not going to live with her.
No, I do live with her.
Oh, you do live with her. Can you separate yourself from her within the next 2 or 3 years?
Yeah.
Okay, and the reason why I said next 2 or 3 years, because you need to start strategizing. Sometimes you need, in families, you know, that's when we say families are political, you might need a lobbyist. You might need somebody to lobby for you. That might be an older sister, an aunt, to get away from the DK that you're living with. Okay. So bad I want to ask you who the DK is, but I'm going to keep it moving. Okay, because you have to have a strategy. And now I know who your DK is. So you raise your hand. Yeah, okay. Stewie, how many DKs around you? Let me think. How many? About 3? Let me think about it. Yeah? 3 or 4. Yeah. Anybody else? Hmm?
And I can't get away from him.
But that's why we strategize. Anybody else? Larea? You got 1 DK around you. Yeah. See, you have to plan. Jessica?
What?
You got your hand up?
Yeah, I got like 2 of them.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, okay.
3 of them.
I was thinking about another person, which ties this in. Can the person that's a DK, since you're in Arizona, can they be in another state?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Can they? Okay, they're in another state. How do they stress you? How does DK stress you if they're in another state?
Phone calls, text messages.
Okay, hold on. Hold on. You guys got these phones. Let me see the phone. I want to see the text messages. You got these phones, right? Can't you block them? Can't you block them?
Probably can.
That's true. They will. That's true. My student had blocked one of her DKs. And you know who her DK was? Her mom.
Oh,
Her mom.
jeez.
And her mom was in another state. So you know what her mother did? She went through the school and was able to get her school email. See, DKs are powerful. That's why they're DKs. They strategize. They plot and plan to try to destroy your life. And you think, well, you know, it just blow over. We ain't going to worry about it. I just block them. You always got to find a strategy to avoid them because nothing about them is positive. And sometimes you really, like I mentioned to Ashley, you have to use your lobbyists. That's why the family is the most political institution. Washington, D.C. got their lobbyists. Families got their lobbyists. You need to use them and find out somebody that can lobby for you. So those are the DKs, the dream killers. Always want to kill your dreams. Is that the only thing you'll just block? What else can you do? Yes, ma'am, Lester.
You can learn how to, when you're talking to them, not sharing from personal about your life,
Yes.
bounce the conversation back to what they're doing.
Right.
If you have to talk to them, just kind of keep it about them and not about anything in their.
Esther, go back to what you said. If you have to talk to them. That's a very important, if you have to talk to them. Because some DKs you can't avoid, especially if they're living with you. So you got to deal with them. So what you do is 24 hours in a day, right? You're going to sleep so many hours. So that cuts off time. Then if you work or go to school, that helps you out. So really, how many hours you got to deal with? So that's something that you have to do. You strategize, you plot, and you plan until you can get away from it. Phrases to live by. Believe in the young people, don't doubt them due to their time on earth. Why do the older heads doubt the younger heads? They ain't been on earth long enough. Okay. Now, this second one here, parents. You got 18 years. You got parents that say, I can't wait for these kids to leave the house. They just thinking about what they're going to do. All the stuff they're going to do when you leave. I can't wait till you leave. Damn, I can't wait. Just get the hell out of my house. Then what happens is when you leave, in about 5 years, what your parents doing? Calling you, when you coming home? When you coming to see me? Wait a minute, didn't you try to brush my childhood? This is what they're doing. You got 18 years. That 18 years is going to go by quick. Don't rush your children's childhood. Anybody ever been to a nursing home? You've been to a nursing home? Okay. Have you noticed that sometimes those parents, those older heads that's in that nursing home don't have family to come visit them? Because what they did years ago, see, we don't think about that when the offspring are increasing in age. We don't think about it. We just want them to get out. I got family members, man, I can't wait till these kids get older. I said, man, you're going to pay the price for that. Tell them all the time, you're going to pay for that. Don't try to rush their childhood. I don't want you to put your hand up. I just want you to marinate on this. Have your parents ever told you that? Well, they can't wait till you leave. They can't wait till you turn 18. I don't want you to raise your hand. I just want you to marinate on it. They can't wait till you get out. And I'm being nice. I'm cleaning it up for the tape because they don't say I can't wait till you leave. I just want you to marinate on it. And they want you to leave. And then they want to mother you or father you now that you're on your own. I don't want you to raise your hand, just marinate on it. And if you have been through this, don't make the same mistake as they. Learn from their mistakes. You got 18 years or 17, depending on who you are, to teach. Because those 17 years go by quick. And if we go back 17 years, 18 years, we're talking about 2000. 2001. That time comes quick. Parents have 18 years. And like I said, don't rush your child's life. You got one shot at this. One. You got one shot in this life. Once your child comes on this earth, your job as a parent is is to raise that child, love that child, and they ain't asked to come here. Whatever you do, don't rush their life. Please don't, because you'll pay a price down the road. So what does family mean to you? I asked you that before we got started. What does family mean to you, Melody? In your studied opinion. I'm gonna get y'all to call her Melody.
Family means people that you love and can do anything for, people that always have your back, no matter what.
Say that louder so everybody can hear you.
People that always have your back, no matter what.
People always got your back. So what does family mean to you?
What does family mean?
Yeah.
I think just what she had said. I do think that there are lapses, like family, they're not always there at the right time, but they come back. You know, it's not something, I wouldn't say 2-3 years they're against you, but it's more so they have those like things that they push on you, and they push their faults on you, and they might not want you to do something, but then they realize like the error of their way, just things like that.
Okay, that's important. You said they realize. What if they don't realize it, but you're willing to give them an olive branch?
I think it's important, it's just like you said, in order to like come back and accept that, it's like both parties like have to be able to really accept that not everybody's always right. I think that's like a big part of like parenting and stuff like that.
Okay, beautiful. Now, how do you deal with a parent that thinks they're always right? How do you deal with a parent that thinks they're always right and they've never done anything wrong? And they don't have to apologize to you for nothing. How do you deal with that?
We just described my mom. So, you deal with it.
You deal with it.
You deal with it.
Okay, so that's your mom. I just described your mom.
You did.
She's always right.
Uh-huh.
Don't have to apologize to you. She ain't done nothing wrong.
That's my mom too.
That's powerful, folks. You just deal with it. Anybody else? Yes and I.
Try to avoid it, talk to them.
You try to avoid it. I know you couldn't. But you know what? You will have to deal with it or try to avoid that individual. Can you avoid that individual? Can you? Can Stewie, can you?
Probably not.
Because it's hard.
It depends on the individual.
Okay.
Depends on their role.
Well, Melanie admitted this, that I described her mother. Always right. She ain't done nothing wrong. What about a parent that, let me ask you this, do you think that parents are always mature? What if I told you that parents are not mature as you think they are, even though they're your parent? Would you believe it?
Yes.
Okay, now,
Absolutely.
okay, now, how would you deal with a parent that's not mature? Even though that's your father, even though that's your mother, but they're not mature enough. How would you deal with it?
I haven't talked to my dad in 2 years, because that's like,
You haven't talked to your dad in 2 years. Have you given your dad an olive branch?
yeah, but he don't think he did nothing wrong. I'm
Okay.
not gonna go back and acknowledge it if he still thinks he did not do anything
Okay,
wrong.
he don't think he's done anything wrong, and you've tried. You just gotta keep it moving.
Yep.
Because you've already he made that choice. He hasn't done anything wrong. You just gotta live. Rachel has to live her life. And there's nothing you can do about it. Okay, because you can't change the past. So yeah, that's what you do. You continue on with your life because it's hard. And so what do you do? I'm not just asking you, Rachel, I'm asking everybody. What do you do if you have family members? They go the whole thing, unit. They feel that you're wrong, Melody, Rachel, Stewie. They feel that you're wrong because you're not respecting your parent. What do you do? This is important because sometimes children are stressed because of it. They feel that you're wrong because you need to give them the respect that they deserve because they're your parents. Stop it. Because, Phoenix,
Two phrases I live by is all your skin folk ain't your kin folk, and don't be bitter, be better. It's like people always like it's always gonna be something that goes wrong. It's like on either side. But if you stuck in the emotions and you're bitter about something, then you're not gonna ever progress, right? And so even if you don't think you're wrong, or you think they're wrong, you can still better yourself in any scenario.
Phoenix, that's a good point. I always say that regardless of what you guys have been through, you still have to say, I am going to be a productive person regardless of what they think of me, how they treated me. And once you become successful, and I see you on that magazine cover, and you're doing your thing, and I can be proud, and I can put that thing in my office and say, yeah, that was my student. They'll call you and say, I'm so proud of you. No, yes, they will. And what you're going to do is you're going to say, thank you. Yes, you are. Because what did the first lady say? When they go low, we go high.